Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. DJ.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The clip I just showed you, I'm sure many of you have seen at least once or multiple times, was during Trump's speech in front of Congress, where he honored DJ Daniels, which was the 13-year-old boy that had brain cancer a few years back, and the doctors only gave him but so much time to live, but he beat the odds, and well, here we are today. Okay, Trump honored him, and not only did he honor him, he made him an honorary Secret Service agent. Okay, but well, before I get a little too ahead of myself, he did that. He also honored another young person. Okay. Peyton McNabb. That was the girl that played volleyball that her team was playing against a team that had this boy on their side, saying that he was a girl, spiked the ball so hard that it hit her in the face. She fell back, got a concussion, and it basically just it really messed up her future sports career. Okay. Even though she played a little bit after that, things have not been the same for her. So the reason why I want to put this video together is because of two things. Okay. Number one is to show everybody what happened pertaining to how the left is treating this situation right here with the 13-year-old boy and the girl Peyton McNabb. Okay, that's number one. Okay, number two is to basically let everybody know that when I seen this morning, early this morning, I started seeing stuff that was going on, especially something in particular that happened with the little boy DJ, that while drinking my coffee, I basically switched from coffee to just straight up hot sauce. And I was like, as soon as I get home, I am going to make a video and expose of how disgusting, okay, the left truly is. And not only how disgusting the left truly is, I said it in one of my last videos, my distaste for any content creator men, okay, who basically take it upon themselves to belittle pretty much anybody they think that they can. And I did say that I wasn't going to mention any names or anything like that, but after seeing what one content creator said about DJ, and then after seeing what another content creator said about Peyton McNabb, I figured, you know what? The gloves are off. You all can kiss my ass. Now, I'm going to have to shout out two content creators in this video. And trust me, I'm going to shout them out. Without further ado, let's get some music, and here we go. Okay, now folks, you know, it's one thing when people have a problem with politicians, okay, and I think that we all can agree on that, whether we're on each other's side or we're not on each other's side. But the one thing, and if anybody knows my content, you know how I feel when it comes to kids, okay. Two of the things that I saw this morning, I thought it to be very disgusting. Okay, I mean, on just so many levels. And the more I look at these, I come across these leftist content creators, you know, it just shows more and more of what I said the other day, that these leftist content creators are not men. They're all cowards. They're weak. They're pathetic. Okay? And I know that this video is probably going to get to them, and they're probably going to try to make a video coming against me, whatever. My thing is this. I don't give a shit. Go kick rocks. Okay? You're just a bunch of cowards. And you prove it time and time again. You have no morals, you have no scruples, and you think that you're on the better side of history, and yet as a man, you don't even have the balls to stand up for kids. And especially when it's content creators, they go after young girls. Okay? Oh, trust me. You're going to find out what's going on in a minute. Okay? But just so I can show everybody, because, you know, being that all these people on the left think that, you know, what the Democrats are doing, that it's great, which is not. Okay? I just want to show one particular piece coming over here. Okay? From Florida, and I shouldn't even say she's, even though she is, you know, in Florida, but she's just part of the problem. And let me see if I can go back just a little bit right here. If anybody knows Debbie, what's her name? Debbie Wasserman Schultz, okay? Just to see the look on her face. Let me see if I got the right spot. Yeah, let's play this real quick. The woman can't even clap. Look at the dogness on her face, like the filthy dog that this woman is. These are Democrats. Okay, I'm gonna speed up just a little bit to get to the spot, just so everybody can see that this little boy was being honored. Okay, just a little more, bear with me right here. This is when everybody's about to sit down. Everybody's about to sit down on the Republican side. No Democrats are standing up. None of them. And why? Why? Because they're disgusting. That's why. Okay? They're mad at this man right here, our president, our duly elected president. And instead of just having a little bit of respect, a little bit of composure, a little bit of passion, whatever you want to call it, compassion, whatever you want to call it, instead of them saying, you know what, let's just push our hate to the side, because that's all you Democrats are full of, is nothing but damn hate. Okay, instead of them pushing it to the side and saying, you know what, let's at least stand up for DJ. No, they couldn't do that either. They couldn't. And why is that? I mean, it's not like they were going to honor DJ themselves. It's not like they're trying to honor women anyway, or girls. It's not like they're trying to protect girls because they believe that boys should be, you know, in skirts in girls' sports. They're not going to do any of that. But then when you go and do it, it bothers them even more. Why? Because they're disgusting. They truly are. You know, Hillary Clinton came out and said that you can divide the country into one side being deplorables and the other side being this. Who's acting deplorable now? Oh, it gets better, people. Trust me. Like I said, I put down my coffee this morning and I started chugging out hot sauce. I'm gonna point out some shit. Trust me. Stay with me. So, for all you lefties, I want you guys to ask that question: why didn't any of the Democrats stand up, or all the Democrats? Because I know what you're gonna say. Well, there was a couple that stand up. I don't want to hear that crap. You guys talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, Black Lives Matter, all this garbage. But yet, here's a little black boy that beat the odds in cancer. They had no morals to stand up and say, to clap for the cancer survivor, to clap for the child who's a cancer survivor, to stand for the black child who's a cancer survivor. Couldn't even do that. But then to make matters worse, you guys ready for this? Let's see what a very famous, and I have to say it this way, people. I have to say it this way because I believe it was somebody like Malcolm X that said that the white liberal, okay, is the problem. Or something to that effect. Is a problem to the black race. You just seen Debbie Wasserman Schultz sitting down, wouldn't even clap for the boy. Okay? But let's get to the crux of this video. And there's still a little bit more I got to show you, but let's see who I'm talking about. You guys ready for me to shout out the first content creator that is a total piece of shit? Here we go. Okay, this guy's name, and he had a YouTube channel, or I think he still does, or whatever, but he's on X. His name is Destiny. Let me see if I can bring this up a little. Yeah, here we go. Just a little more. His name is Destiny. Okay, in case anybody doesn't know him, just a quick little back history about him. Okay, this man had a podcast where he basically invited a male porn star. Okay, because you know what, Destiny, I'm gonna shout you out. You know why? Because you're nothing but a damn dog for what you did. Okay, let me read what he said before I explain a little more about Destiny. Okay, this is what he wrote about DJ. He said, difficult to know if the rabid Trump support comes from his parents indoctrinating him or the abscess that the brain cancer left behind. Yep, you heard it. That's what he said. So now, since he wants to act like that, and it's all over mainstream media, but in case enough people don't know, let's talk a little bit about Destiny. Destiny had a beautiful wife. Destiny, in his podcast, admitted him and his wife, they had an open relationship. Destiny decided to invite this male porn star. Destiny was given a challenge for his wife to sleep with that porn star. Lady, cover your ears if you're going to get offended, but I think that it's only fair that if Destiny could be such a piece of garbage and say this about a child, I think that, you know what, I got to say what I got to say. So that male porn star basically put it on his wife. And in return, the little weasel white liberal punk that he is, his wife left him to go with that other porn star. And ever since then, Destiny has been a total train wreck. And now after today, he's going to be even more of a train wreck. You know, I cannot believe how demented these people on the left are, where they think that everything they say is okay because it's all fair. It's all fair in love and war. You have a problem with Donald Trump? Look it up with Donald Trump. It's not like he can't be found. You can get him on X. You can get him on Truth Social. You can get him on social media. Hell, I think that if you gave him a call, he might even invite you to Mar-a-Lago so you could just air out your grievances, and then he could just basically, I don't know, put you in your place. But no, you gotta go, and you have to not even, it's not like you even belittled this boy, Destiny, because that little boy has shown to be more of a man than you could ever be. Okay? But it's funny how these leftists think that they can just pretty much say and do what they want. Everybody's fair game. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, J.D. Vance was out with his little 3-year-old daughter, and a crowd of you leftist white liberal Karens decided to confront him in the street and make a spectacle of yourself with no regard to his little 3-year-old daughter. You didn't care. And you know why you don't care? Because you're all demented. That's why. I'll never understand the mindset of you people on the left, but at the same time, it's not surprising. You're all about abortion anyway. If you don't care about a baby in the womb, why would you care about a baby outside the womb? Why would you care about a 13-year-old boy who beat brain cancer? Why would you care about a girl that had a volleyball smashed in her face and had to fall back and get a concussion? Why would you care about that? You don't even want kids to be born by your standards. Why? Why is it that you people think that you can just pretty much treat people like crap, and then once somebody comes and calls you out right away, you play victim? Just like Joy Reid. Years and years and years of just race baiting hate. And then she gets fired, and then she's over here crying online. My program meant something. It was worth something. It was important. Really? All them years of her laughing and just spreading lies and rumors. She finally got the boot. And now she's crying. Like Destiny over here was probably crying when his wife left him, because he was too weak to hold on to his wife. He let her go. That man, a porn star, a guy that sleeps with women for a living, took your wife. And you're going to have the gall to go on X, and then to top it off, you leave little faces with hearts on them as if you're so cute about it. You're a disgusting piece of shit, dude. That you are. I may not be able to monetize this video. We'll see, because I'm going to curse up a storm. But like I said, you people are getting so out of control. It's about time that you people are called out. This is not your time anymore. You're lost. Trump is your daddy. Things are different. And if you ask me, in all honesty, people, even though I'm against censorship, but this is not the first time Destiny has made some outlandish post or whatever the case is, or even on his live podcast. I think this is something that, you know what, that Elon Musk should really look into. I said it. Because it's horrible the way a grown man, okay, has to go and put some filth like this. And then for the majority, if any Democrats are saying anything, which I doubt, nobody's calling it out except people on the right. If anybody on the left is calling out and you see this this video, leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments. Now let's get to the next star of the show. Here we go. Okay, now this is when Trump started talking about the transgenderism that's going on in girls' sports. The transgender, you know, I don't even want to hear about no transgender girls. Ain't no such thing. Ain't no damn thing. Here's what Trump's talking about: boys dressing up as girls in girls' sports, and he's honoring Peyton McNabb. Check this out.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer. We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Yeah, look at all the Democrats sitting down. They can't agree to that. Oh no, because they know all these jackals are seething. No, there isn't. I'm not talking about the Supreme Court judges and the military brass here. I'm talking about all these jackals back here.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
There you go. Come on, Democrats, get up. You don't like that? Oh, okay.
Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team or they will lose all federal funding.
And I'll leave it right there. Once again, you see the Republicans sitting down, no Democrats are getting up. Because they don't like it. They don't. They want boys to be in girls' sports so they can beat up on the girls. Okay? So now, let's get to the man of the hour. Okay? You guys are going to love this. Brace yourselves. Here we go. Okay, this freaking fat-ass burnout is named Tom Powell Jr. He has a YouTube channel. And all he does day in and day out, with the exception of maybe a couple of different videos here and there, all he does is belittle people on the right, Christians, I mean, you name it, that's all he does. Okay? That's all he does. And he does it with a conviction, like he thinks that he's right every single time. But in reality, the guy is a freaking moron. And he's got people following him, and they're just as damn moronic. Okay? But what he likes to do, he likes to get under people's skin, and then when people go and try to retaliate, he'll go and try to make fun of their comments. Or whatever the case is. The guy is a total class A asshole. Okay? Now, this video that he put out is basically a reaction that he did to another video, once again, of some other white liberal dude that is trying to call out Peyton Manning, that girl that you just seen, which is the girl that got hit in the face with a volleyball and it totally messed her up. Let's listen to what this man has to say.
Yesterday, I showed you a phenomenal video by a young man who did the due diligence necessary to point out.
You heard what he said. Let me cut it off. He said a phenomenal video that a young man did his due diligence. We're going to see
yet another one of Trump's lies. During Trump's address to a joint session of Congress, Trump talked about a female athlete who had her athletic career ended when a trans player, allegedly, spiked a volleyball into her face, and she suffered such dramatic injuries that her athletic career allegedly ended, but she still played volleyball, softball, and basketball, did quite well at all of them, and continued to post highlights of herself playing after that. So it was all a lie. The part about her ending her athletic career. Now it appears as if her getting hit in the face by a trans athlete is actually potentially not accurate. Watch this.
How a transgender athlete spiked the volleyball into her face, ending her athletic career.
So great video by that guy about Peyton McNabb, who was invited to the State of the Union the other day and shouted out because she allegedly had her athletics career cut short when a transgender athlete spiked her in the face with a volleyball back in 2022. But not only did she continue her athletics career, as that guy very much pointed out, I did a little bit more digging into the story, and it turns out that there's not any actual evidence that the person that did this to her is trans. Now, any story you read about Peyton will say something sort of like Trump did the other night, that she suffered a traumatic brain injury when she was smashed in the face with a volleyball. But as that guy pointed out in his video, she was posting her highlight packages from basketball season 2 months after that happened. The only reason it ended her volleyball career is because volleyball season was over and she was a senior. But something I noticed as I was digging deeper into this whole debacle is that Peyton McNabb actually joined Huddle, which is a social media site where athletes can post their highlight reels 8 days after the supposed traumatic brain injury incident on September 1st.
Okay, we're going to stop right there real quick because I'm going to jump in. First of all, obviously, you hear what this man is saying. He's nothing but a damn show. And once again, I got to point it out. Another white male liberal, okay, is trying to basically condescend what happened to Peyton McNabb. 8 days after getting hit in the face and you suffer a concussion, yes, you can function. Okay? But he's going to explain that that's not how things work. But how many times have we heard of somebody getting a concussion and 2, 3, 4, 6 months down the road, even a year later, they wind up having some kind of issues that come back and affect their mobility, affect their eyesight, affect their speech, whatever the case is. But this guy knows pretty much everything. Okay, and that's number one. Number two, he's over here trying to say the first guy with the glasses, the fat ass, the Jerry Garcia reject. Okay, and I say that with a lot of heaviness to it because a lot of his videos, he's always talking about getting high, and if you look at his videos in the background, he has like some Grateful Dead memorabilia. Seems more like a guy that pretty much didn't get out of his mama's basement until he probably got married, and then that woman wound up dragging his fat ass out, and now he's sitting in a room again, and now he's going to be picking on girls. Way to go, Slick. Okay? Since you're such a man, because I've watched a lot of your videos, and you're always cursing people out, always calling people out, making it seem like, you know what? Like if anybody really wanted to meet up with you, like they will be scared not to. Okay? But they're going to go and belittle this girl and make it seem as if, you know what, just because she got up 8 days afterwards, or maybe even 2 months afterwards, that no side effects could have popped up with that. No, definitely not. Also, due to the fact that now this guy's saying, just like the other moron, that allegedly a trans athlete did this. It's not allegedly, it is true. And the reason why nobody was able to find out information was because the school at the time, being that the athlete was 17 years old and a minor, they refused, okay, to put out the information of that student. On top of the fact, being that we were living in Biden's demonic fucking world, and the Board of Education had to protect all these trans athletes, all these boys in girls' clothing, they made it harder for anybody to find out who it is. Just like what happened with the girl playing basketball and another boy that couldn't make it on a boys' team because he was too damn weak, decided to pull the ball off the girl, made her slam to the ground, made her bang her head, while he laughed and chuckled and walked away. And then right away he got protected. But you know what? Let's listen to some more.
Kind of seems like an odd move for somebody that thinks their athletics career has been ended. Something else I found as I was digging around is that Peyton McNabb actually gave testimony during a bill hearing in North Carolina about how this was such a tragic event. But seeing as she was currently playing softball, she couldn't go with it ended my athletics career. So she put a slightly different twist on it. Let me know what y'all think.
I was unable to play the rest of my last volleyball season, and although I'm currently playing softball, I'm not able to perform as well as I know I have in the past because of the injury.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a pretty big sports fan, and I've heard of things like tearing your knee, blowing out your Achilles, throwing out your shoulder, injuries that you can get past, but you're maybe not as good afterwards. But I ain't never heard of no concussion or really even neck injury where you can get back to playing, but now you just suck 30% more. But fine.
Okay, you heard what he said, right? You just heard what he said. That he knows about sports. I highly doubt it, Slick. Something tells me the only thing you probably are good at is pocket hockey. That's about it. Or maybe hopscotch. I really don't think you know anything about sports like you claim you do. You know pretty much about sports. You've never heard of any injury that would decrease a player's performance by 30%. Really. Especially like a concussion. Okay, has anybody ever heard of the NFL? I'm pretty sure you have. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to minimize this. We're going to get back to this moron. I just happened to look this up. Okay, and it says here, yes, concussions are serious in football. And why? Well, because you do something to your brain and your neck and your spinal cord and all kinds of stuff that can mess you up. Okay? Let me just maximize this a little bit so you guys can see a little better. Okay? It says they can lead to life-threatening conditions and have caused significant brain damage in players. Research has shown that concussions can result in chronic traumatic, I can't pronounce that, I'll just say CTE, which can have debilitating effects on players' lives, including memory loss and depression. That's just one. Let's go to another article. Concussions can significantly impact a football player's career. Players who experience concussions may perform worse on cognitive tests compared to those who do not. Certain playing positions may increase the risk of cognitive impairments, anxiety, and depression, which can further affect a player's career. While some players may not report these impairments, the long-term effects of concussions can be detrimental to their overall health and career longevity. Okay? So let's get back to Jacko over here and see what else he has to say.
Finally, the main thing I noticed when I was digging around is that every article said things like the student who is allegedly transgender, or things like Peyton McNabb says that the player with the powerful spike was born a man and playing on the women's team. But then finally I found an answer that neither the school where the other athlete attends nor the North Carolina Athletic Association would confirm or has confirmed that this student is transgender, and the student also hasn't come forward. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, she is a woman, why wouldn't she just come forward and clear all...
Okay, now he's going to try to go into this whole boxing spiel that happened at the Olympics. We'll leave that alone. Again, the reason why he did not come across that information is because everybody knows that the Board of Education, the DEI program, DEI agenda, the transgender agenda, Biden's demonic freaking administration, all they did was coddle and protect all these trans students, athletes, whatever have you. Okay, but once again, leave it up to the left, okay, people on the left, and men at that, weak-ass men at that, to come and try to turn all this around. Now, this is what, the reason why, listen, there are so many reasons why this thing has me pissed off. But one of the reasons that it has me pissed off is because, once again, here is a grown-ass man who wants to out a girl in order to protect a boy that wants to be a girl. Just like the fat ass that's putting out that video.
All this up then, and I would remind you that Amani Khalif happened. Remember when a boxer that all the MAGA people claimed was a man came forward and said, hey, I'm actually a woman. I've always been a woman. Her parents were like, hey, here's photos of when she was little, and none of that mattered. Oh, and on top of that, even the Russian organization that claimed she failed a gender test was found to be deeply corrupt and not even recognized as a real organization by the Olympic Committee for years prior to that. And none of that mattered. Still, to this day, 98% of MAGA will tell you that a man won a gold medal in women's boxing last year. And I would also...
Okay, and what he also is not telling you is that the Paris Olympics is so corrupt that most of us couldn't even put videos on YouTube because for some odd reason, which is the first time ever in history, at least from what I know, they just started suppressing all kinds of information. That's number one. Number two, one match that this so-called woman boxer had prior to the Olympics was kicked out because after them doing all the tests that they needed to do necessary, they deemed this so-called woman to actually be a man. But the Paris Olympics came out and said that was their test, we are running our test, and we deem this man to be a woman. But this guy over here is going to go and try to spin it all around. And once again, I'll give you the Easter egg. You don't believe me? I don't have to point you in any direction. Be smart. Look up the information yourself. But leave it up to shills like this to go and spin all this around and have no regard for women's safety, just like the Democrats in Congress had no regard for DJ, just like Destiny had no regard for DJ, and just put out whatever the hell he wanted to put out because he thinks that he's a man, that he can do this, that everybody is fair game. Well, let me tell you something. When it comes to kids, y'all can go kick fucking rocks. Okay? You're all a bunch of bitches. That's what you are. Let's finish this off.
Also ask if this person is transgender and everybody knew about it, like Peyton McNabb said. They were 10 games into the volleyball season in this rural North Carolina school district. You mean nobody had made a fuss about it? There wasn't a single school board meeting, nobody freaking out. Riley Gaines or Charlie Kirk or any of those right-wing outlets hadn't run down there. They didn't have like a transgender athlete tracker that seems to spot every single one of the 12 of them that exist in the country. Like,
see, there he goes. Everybody knows that Riley Gaines is a big advocate about this. Many people complained about it. But the difference is that people on the right, and I'm not blaming them for not doing it, but they're not out there protesting like a bunch of little kids just to get their way. They try to go to the school board meetings. They try to let superintendents know, but they keep getting pushed away. And then again, once again, with Biden's dynamic administration, having people like, I don't know, Mayorkas and them shutting down, not Mayorkas, who was the other weasel with the glasses? Shutting down school boards school board meetings and telling the Board of Education and people at the school board meetings to report any parents that had any kind of complaints when it came to transgenderism or what have you. All they did was shut everything down. And now this one's going to come and try to spin it all around as if nobody cared. No, we all cared. Everybody's been talking about it on the right, and even some people on the left. But even leave it up to people like you to go and belittle the woman that boxed against this man, belittle the girl that got hit in the face with a volleyball that, yes, ended her sports career by a boy, and leave it up to Destiny and the Democrats, okay, to basically just smear a little 13-year-old boy's life as if he hasn't suffered enough.
Nobody had made a fuss about it up until this happened. Not a word. Seems strange to me. But while that girl will have to remain in hiding for at least a few years, otherwise face tens of thousands of death threats, Peyton McNabb, whose volleyball...
First of all, that's not a girl that has to stay in hiding all her life because it's a boy. He can easily take off the dress and man up to what he did. But then again, leave it up to a liberal adult male to be worried about a girl. I'm sorry, a boy that wants to be a girl. A little boy that beat up on a girl. Anybody see this as weird? Because I know I do. Why is it that it's always grown-ass white liberal men that are fighting, okay, for trans kids?
Team was 1-7 when she played, and her only basketball highlights are steals, meaning she's not very good. Got invited to the White House, got to go to the State of the Union, and was recognized at the State of the Union. Oh, and by the way, is also having a documentary made about her. And that documentary is called, and I wish I was making this up, Kill Shot. How Peyton McNabb turned tragedy into triumph. Really?
Pathetic. Yes,
like,
really.
This is a definition of rewarding mediocrity. And keep in mind that all this hysteria is over volleyball, a sport that, as adults, we play co-ed in basically all bar leagues across the country. And that's because volleyball, even though there's an occasional freak accident, outside of that, it's a pretty safe sport. So if they can do it with this, they can do it with anything.
Okay, now before I let you, now you already said, I mean, the guy is disgusting. Just the way he turns everything around. Before we listen to what this moron has to say, let's go to another article that I got right here. And this is the article pertaining to Peyton McNabb. Okay? Now, you heard what he said about volleyball. Okay? Doctors diagnosed her with a traumatic brain injury, concussion, partial paralysis on her right side, whiplash and vision problems, which she is still dealing with today, almost 2 years later. Now a communications student at Western Carolina University, Miss McNabb says she continues to struggle to move the right side of her body, leading to her regularly lose her balance and suffer from falls. And you guys heard the article that I read. Okay, she's got the symptoms from getting a head injury, and it can come later on. Doesn't necessarily have to happen at that minute, or 3 weeks later, or 3 months later. It can come later on. Okay, as a matter of fact, I had a buddy of mine who got into a car accident. Okay, I'm not going to say his name. Years ago, with his girlfriend. Everything was fine. They went to the hospital. Not a big deal. Everybody went home, and they thought everything was good. Okay, sadly, a week or two later, she passed away. Why? Because of injuries that they thought that it was like, okay, it's fine, it's okay for her to go home, but they didn't know the severity of the injuries inside of her, and it just grew, and she basically bled from the inside. They didn't know it. It was bleeding on her brain, and she died. Sadly. These things happen. Sports players wind up playing, they'll get a concussion, they want to go back and play, and they can't. Look at the NFL players. These guys are monsters. Okay? They get a concussion. How many times have NFL players been walked off the field and then they got to miss 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, which is what? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. These guys are 200-300 pounds. Nothing but muscle. Giants. Okay? But no. Leave it up to this guy who says he knows so much about sports. I just wanted to read that, but there's something else that I wanted to read. Okay? It says the student who played volleyball, softball, and basketball has also had her sporting career cut short right at the beginning, saying she can no longer play in the way that she knows she used to, meaning she's not up to par anymore, not the way she used to be. Experts say there is a risk of injuries like concussion from playing volleyball, regardless of the gender of the players. Okay? But women struck by balls hit by trans players report they are traveling faster with more force than anything they have previously experienced. Studies have also shown that transgender players in women's sports retain a biological advantage over their female opponents, even years after the transition began. A major review carried out last year found that early exposure to testosterone in trans women mean they possess at least 8 physical and mental attributes that could give them an advantage in sports. But leave it up to the liberal white man to go and belittle a girl. That's great. Now let's finish it off with Buffalo Face over here. Listen to what he says.
The level of scumbaggery that exists in not only this White House, but this young lady's existence now is staggering. Shame on you, Peyton McNabb. Shame on you. You managed to finagle your way into 15 minutes of fame on a bullshit lie. Because you're what? A subpar athlete looking for some attention? Unfucking believable.
Did you hear the way this man just... I mean, it's incredible for a grown-ass man to go and say what he said about this girl and belittle her. All because one guy put out a TikTok video that was highly edited, left out major facts, but yet he started his video saying that this guy did his due diligence. And then to come out and say the level of, what he says, scumbaggery or whatever. This guy is a piece of work, man. He is a piece of work to go and belittle this girl the way he did. You know, if he would have came out and said it a little different, without so much hate in his heart, maybe you can say, you know what? The guy doesn't believe what happened to the girl. He has his own opinion. But no, his opinion was already made up. You know why? Because he's a leftist. That's why. Because he has no regard for women, no regard for children, no regard for young ladies. But yet, if you go to his channel, he's always talking about his wife, his daughters, his granddaughters. And no offense towards them. I'm not trying to jump on them. Not at all. See, because I'm not that kind of person. But this one right here, this dude right here, makes me wonder. How does a grown man go and try to call out a girl who has suffered, and in the beginning of the video say allegedly that a trans athlete, I mean, I'll not understand how so many grown-ass men on the left can be okay with boys being in girl spaces, and then when the girl complains, they go after the girl. I don't know what you call that. Simps? Cooks? What's another word that they use? Snowflakes? Mama's boys? Chumps? cowards, creeps. Pick a name. Pick a title. I wonder how he would feel, or the other guy, or Destiny, because Destiny has a child. I think he has a little girl too. If I'm not, and like I said, I'm not going after the kids at all, or their women. But how would these so-called men feel if it happened to their daughters? They probably wouldn't like it much. But then again, showing the severity of weakness in these guys, the cowards that they are, they probably wouldn't do nothing. They'll probably look at their crying daughters and say, well, you got to suck it up if you want to be with the boys. He's a girl now. Just because she's bigger than you, just go play. Tell her you're sorry for being mad at her. Yeah, tell little Tommy you're sorry for saying he's a boy and he just wind up smashing a volleyball in your face. This is what we got, people. This is what we got. You got the left over analyzing things that they shouldn't, and then trying to put a spin on it, dissecting it themselves, and saying this is all the truth, when it's not. But then you go and try to point something out and say, no, listen, this is what it is. I don't have to analyze it. I don't have to dissect it. I'm calling it out right on its face for what it is. You can't do that. You just can't. Just like the girls that lost the, the 1,000-meter relay or whatever the case was. They had two boys on that team. And this is not from what Trump came out and said at his speech. This was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I mean, just blew past the women, just gone, done. All these girls, their careers gone, their medals gone. Because two boys decided to put on extensions as braids and decided to run as girls and just beat the competition. And then they're honored. Let's give her a medal. Yeah. Where are you going to hang it? Around his neck? Or around his other head? Where are you going to hang it? Oh yeah, when I said this morning I was drinking coffee and I put it down to drink freaking hot sauce, yes I did. And from now on, I'll be calling these people out. Because they're pathetic. You're not men, you're weak, you're cowards. That's what you are. And you are, in all reality, you and many like you, and many in your party, the reason why you lost, and the reason why you're going to keep losing, even though you're going to have your followers, and they're all just as brain dead as you, many of your followers are actually women, not surprising, just a bunch of hateful liberal women. And then you got the rest of the guys that go along with this, and in my opinion, those are just men that hate women. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe just soft cowards like you, because you're surrounded by women. I wonder if you get cramps every month. But you're lost. And you're going to keep losing. Because of stuff like this. You don't respect anybody's space. You definitely don't respect women's space. You talk so much about, oh, a woman's body, her choice, this and that, yada, yada, yada. But yet, she gets hurt. Nope. Can't protect her. You're proving our point. All you liberal men, you're actually proving our point. That's just the bottom line. And that's a good thing. It takes more of our job away. It really does. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. And pray for all the missing children that they brought across the border. Peace.